Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And by the end of this video, I hope that I can clarify a few things around regulations, especially where the US is right now, and why I believe that they are in a checkmate position. Now, also, today we are one step closer to the weekend, and price action has been looking incredible around crypto, which we have been preparing for. I've been talking about why 2023 is going to be tremendous for crypto and why everyone should be preparing accordingly. But I want to hear from all of you. How have you guys been enjoying the price action? I do believe that the next step on XRP is around 84 cents. I will most likely be making a video later on today talking about the next steps on XRP and where we could essentially lead to. And I will say this, the future is looking pretty good for XRP holders. But I want to start with this post here from Johnny Deaton, and he is saying, "Thank you so much, Gary Gensler, for protecting me and all my fellow Americans." And here we have Flare staking suspended in your region. Then over here, again, Casper, staking suspended in your region. This is on what I believe is Uphold, I'm pretty sure. It looks like Uphold at least. And we've been reporting on this. Listen, this is absolutely disgusting. I've been saying that they want to go after staking as a service because it's very simple, right? Like, you go to your bank, you're not going to earn 5%. Hell, you'll be lucky to earn 1% on your money. With crypto, with DeFi, with staking as a service, well, Casper, for an example, you could earn 10.6%. You're not seeing that at the bank. So why do you think these regulators are going after staking as a service? Why do you think that they are targeting DeFi? Why do you think that they're targeting crypto? It's very simple. Now also, right, talking about the SEC, why do you think that they started to go after Ripple and XRP initially on? See, a lot of people bring up the SEC and they bring up the SEC case and they mention how XRP is this, that, and Ripple was doing this and that. But ultimately speaking, I don't think enough people actually take a step back and question, why did the SEC only make it a very public announcement to go after Ripple and XRP? Well, it's very simple. They want to stall Ripple as much as possible while their banker friends can create very similar processes and solutions to, cross-border payments. For example, here we have from Crypto Airy. Goldman Sachs will begin cross-border payments into more than 160 countries and in more than 120 currencies from Japan with a banking license. Japan will be the first country in Asia to start. I'm sure it won't be the last. And this is very interesting. Now, obviously, yes, we don't know what they're going to do within this service. We don't know what technology that they're utilizing. But I will say this. I'm not one to say, hey, XRP needs to corner the entire cross-border payment market and it needs all of the money for it to be successful. Absolutely not. Listen, this is going to be a very competitive market. It's going to be like trade finance or like anything else that we talk about on this channel around crypto. It's going to be a major collaborative effort to have cross-border payments fully revolutionized and brought into the 21st century. But I will say this. I do believe that these centralized banking clients and giants like Goldman Sachs, like JP Morgan, etc., like all of these major companies are the ones that will have the upper hand because, again, regulators are on their side because these companies want to make a whole bunch of money off of you and me. It's exactly how they have survived this entire time. It's how they get rich, all the time. The rich continue to get rich off the backs of those that are poor. And again, I say this even around banks. Like, banks utilize your money 24/7. They leverage your funds 24/7 to make money off of your money while they kick you back such a small percentage. Yeah, that's the truth. And it's disgusting. But that's exactly why the traditional system has failed for you and me. But it's been extremely successful for the upper, individuals, the elites, if you will. And this is why they don't like what's happening around crypto. That's why they don't like what's happening around DeFi, because it is putting power in the hands of retail around, banking as a service, around staking as a service, and it allows us to earn a ton of money. They don't like that financial opportunity. They want to keep things constricted, and they basically want us to play this big game of Monopoly that they created, decades ago. Well, guess what? Soon that will all end. But we have started to see major giants like Mastercard debut cross-border payment services. This was actually from April 11th, so just 2 days ago. Again, we are constantly seeing evolution happening around cross-border payments, and it is around some of the largest names out there like Mastercard, like JP Morgan, like Swift, and even like Goldman Sachs. And what do you see over here? Swift Action, JP Morgan and Visa team up on cross-border blockchain payments. Pretty interesting, right? And I think that a lot of what we are seeing around cross-border payments and around things like this, it's pretty much to counteract what we are seeing within crypto. What I find interesting though is liquidity. Like, where are they going to source the liquidity? Where's the interoperability going to come from? Like, there's a lot of problems within these solutions that are being created. And I don't think anything will be as efficient as what Ripple has created with XRP. Yes, they do have patents around their on-demand liquidity mechanism, as well as around their cross-border payment mechanism that has been set up a long time ago, and it's for good measure. I believe that right now we are seeing a major war on the battlefront around crypto within the traditional system because, again, they don't want to lose any power. They don't want to lose any money. They want that power. They want that control. They want that greed because they love it. It's what allowed them to maintain, in their words, anchor, or if you will, control for so long. Now, over here, we do see from Financial Services GOP, we are seeing a large attack against the SEC. Finally, we see two chairmen calling out SEC Gov Chair Gensler for failing to provide information on charges against SBF FTX. The lawmakers are considering all avenues to compel documents requested by Congress. And if you guys didn't see recently, it seems as though FTX is trying to regroup and relaunch again, which is, I don't know. I think that that's absolutely crazy in my opinion. Somebody actually posted a meme about it saying, hey, let me do it again real quick. And as we really kind of look at what's happening around SBF with, FTX and the entire situation from regulators, like, it really is a huge problem because, one, regulators dropped the ball hardcore, but also we are seeing FTX starting to make a comeback again, which I just can't see a world where that happens. But again, we do need answers. We need to have major announcements like this where we are seeing the regulators answer for their decisions. I think that this is great. And we do see over here from Eleanor Tourette, she actually reported on this, and we do see failure to produce the requested information could result in the committee considering using compulsory process if necessary. In other words, they're threatening a subpoena without actually using the word subpoena. So this is pretty big, and we do see SEC official decries delay tactics used by some defense lawyers. So again, we are seeing a big war right now going on within the regulator standpoint. So who knows what could happen here? It's going to be very interesting, and they have until April 17th. We do see April 17, 2023. Failure to produce the requested information could result in the committee considering using compulsory process if necessary to obtain the requested information. So, this is very interesting to see. I personally love to see it, but we also seen a major update from the Financial Services GOP account going all the way back to the 11th. Remember, this is when they announced a full committee hearing to conduct oversight of the SEC Gov, with Gary Gensler there, and XRP Kicks actually responded back to this, and I do agree. We do see, if some of you haven't learned how Gary Gensler is by now, let me tell you what's going to happen ahead of time. Gary Gensler will not answer any important questions. Gary will give his broken record answers and will say, I'm only enforcing the laws Congress helped make. After that, he will tap dance and avoid more questions like the Matrix. And this is what we are seeing right now around regulators and around Gary Gensler, is just avoiding the questions, trying to pretty much say, hey, Congress is just telling me what to do. I'm just following orders. Or we also hear this excuse that says, well, we already have laws in place. There's already regulations in place for crypto. They could come in and register. That's the big excuse. Come in and register. Like they always say that. Well, guess what? We need answers. We need things like this to happen, and we need justice. We really do need justice because, again, I just reported on the $15 billion in damages to XRP holders. Like, the damages continue to rise. Remember, staking as a service, like, I would love to know how much damage is being made from not only getting rid of staking as a service within the US, but also a lot of DeFi offering. Like, the damages are well beyond $15 billion. And Ryan Selkis actually said, it's time to unite the warring tribes of crypto and focus on winning in the US. It's going to be a fun 18 months. And yeah, I think that this is the best case scenario. I think that we should come together. I think that we should unite and, fight back against regulators, because right now in the US, crypto is on the edge of being pushed out fully overseas. And if that is the case, I really do feel bad for anyone that is in the US as a crypto investor, and myself included. I am a US citizen. I am in crypto heavy, and I want to see crypto thrive. But I fear that we are going to see crypto pushed outside of the US. And when that does happen, and if that does happen, well, guess what? Either way, crypto will win. And I'll talk about why right now. So one, there was this video posted by Crypto Airy, and we do see make sure regulators don't overreach because the US dollar will absolutely be dragged into new places in the world with new buyers to build a new core currency of this new digital asset class. US needs to be careful. The largest online-only bank, ZA, in Hong Kong has started offering cryptocurrency to fiat conversion services through licensed crypto exchanges. This was one of the best videos Raul GMI enjoyed every man with Richard Galvin. And by the way, yes, if you guys did miss it, Hong Kong's biggest virtual bank will soon allow customers to convert crypto to fiat currency over some exchanges. And this is going to be a huge innovation. But listen closely to this video. It's about 3 minutes long. Listen closely.
Look, not being a US citizen, I guess I take a maybe more global view of their position or where they sit today. I think they need to be careful about risking the prime position the US dollar has in this market. I think if you looked at it with a cynical view, you could say, the best case outcome from a monetary perspective was that crypto never existed. The second best outcome from a US perspective was it exists, but it trades against a US dollar as the prime currency that it's traded against. And so, if this asset class succeeds and it grows into anything like I expect it to grow into, it'll drag the US dollar into new places, right, into new grounds. And we've kind of seen that with stablecoins. When you move through Southeast Asia, you see people using Tether in jurisdictions where you never saw US dollars before. In a way, it's been that sort of first wave of pushing the US dollar into new markets. And let's be frank, they need new buyers of US dollars given the deficits that they're running. And, so I think the US is in an incredible position. They're building that almost that kind of new sort of petrodollar type system where they become the kind of core currency against new asset class. And I think they need to be careful that they don't risk that, because there is alternatives, right? It wasn't ordained that this asset class had to trade against the US dollar from day one, right? Like, it could have had another currency that became that sort of primary currency that it was benchmarked against, and it's just been the US dollar to date. But if that gets too hard,
Chinese try and, because the Chinese have used it for capital flight, so they've kind of liked the stable coin, right? It's been very useful for them. They get money out, Southeast Asians get money in, and it's kind of this nice kind of two-way flow. But what happens if Binance kind of scale the RMB stablecoin because it's pegged to the dollar?
Yeah,
it's kind of like a cheeky way of the Chinese financing themselves potentially.
Yeah, or a Hong Kong dollar. Like a Hong Kong dollar stablecoin would make a bunch of sense, right? It's a currency, again, pegged around the dollar, and it's a currency that most people in the world, particularly in the finance world, are used to dealing with. And if I was to look around the world at a key competitor for potential US dollar, it would be, Swiss, for stablecoin would be Swiss franc and Hong Kong dollar. Now the Swiss franc has a problem with negative rates, and so it becomes kind of super expensive in a stablecoin construct. But the Hong Kong dollar sits in a pretty good spot. Some of the points you mentioned, plus that sort of already ingrained in the global financial system. So,
and the Chinese are ramping up Hong Kong again in crypto terms.
Yeah, and I think that's the interesting thing as we've watched this US frenzy of regulatory activity over the last sort of month or so. The counterpoint to it is Hong Kong kind of opening and And then, the market that dominated crypto when I first entered the space seems to be kind of awakening from a few years' sleep. And I think the whole regulatory landscape that comes in and, the start of June is extremely exciting for the space and it provides that nice kind of counterpoint. And to be honest, that sort of competitive tension that the tech needs to make sure that regulators don't overreach.
And I completely agree. Like, listen, even though the US is fighting back heavy against crypto and crypto innovation, outside of the US, crypto is thriving. They want to fully adopt crypto. They want to go heavy into crypto. And it is good because it puts the US, well, guess what? In a checkmate position. We've seen this post over here. US regulators have a major dilemma on their hands. The US can either disrupt itself or push Bitcoin/crypto activity/capital/talent offshore and on-chain and have less oversight / control. This is the beauty of decentralization. Either way, Bitcoin/crypto wins. Checkmate. And yes, this is exactly what's going to happen. It doesn't even matter about Bitcoin. I've said it time and time again. Crypto will thrive whether or not the US wants to back it or not. We don't need governments to back crypto. We don't need them to say, hey, crypto is a good asset class. Invest money into it. No. Listen, we've been talking about crypto on this channel for a very long time. And those that have been in crypto for well over a decade also know the power behind this technology, the power behind decentralized finance and decentralization itself. We don't need US regulators. Everything that regulators touch turns to garbage. I mean, look at everything, right? They regulate food. Look at how, unhealthy the food products are. Everything that they touch in terms of regulations, in terms of regulating, it's all nonsense. Because guess what's tied to it all? Control, power, greed. All of that is a recipe for disaster. So we don't need regulators, but I do want them all to be accounted for in terms of what they have done, their decisions that they've been made, because there's a lot of problems internally within the SEC that I believe is built upon, 1, corruption, 2, payments from the big bankers and banks to slow technology down so that they can create services. Because, listen, crypto is moving 24/7, 365. Innovation is thriving. This market is expanding rapidly. And I mean the things that are like a matter, right? Like utility is expanding. Utility is being adopted. Utility is the key. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if there's more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. It's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.